Hey gang, welcome back. Evan Sutton here again. Now we're ready to add a bass line to our Moombahton reggaeton. I don't know, I can't keep up with the kids these days. But we made a little beat. And I've got a little bass line to go with it. So today what we're going to do is we're going to create an aggressive bass line in FM8. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring these levels down so I'm not clipping. Avoid clipping at all costs, kids. We can make our stuff loud later. There are great ways of doing that. Talk to Daniel Wyatt. He'll tell you. All right. So now I've got FM8 here. And I feel like FM8 is overlooked quite a bit as far as well, just in general. People tend to think bell sound when they think FM. So we can go ahead and make a quick bell sound if you want. If you really, really want me to. I'll just go through and I've turned on operators E and F. These are actually oscillators, and they're loaded with sine waves. I know this because under operators I can see that. If I go to envelope, I can lock them together. I'm going to have very low sustain. I'm going to use some release. Now, if we go ahead and look at operator E, we can turn up the ratio. The ratio is the tuning, and we're going to tune it up the harmonic series. So we're a little bit in bell territory. Right now we have all even harmonics. We're using an integer ratio. We have a carrier to modulator ratio of 1 to 4. Those are frequency modulation terms. FM stands for frequency modulation. Basically, this is similar to doing a really, really fast vibrato. It's so fast that we can't hear the individual oscillations. We begin to get these sidebands, this acoustic phenomena. So if you listen to this, this is a vibrato. If I put this back down to 0 and then turn the ratio up, now we're moving hundreds of times per second. And we're getting these sidebands, all these interesting sounds. So that's pretty good. Got some nice stuff going, but I'm going to turn the ratio up. It's going to bring up some higher sidebands. We're getting a little clangy. That's what we want. If we use a non-integer ratio, we're going to get non-harmonic sidebands. And what that's going to do is make the sound a little bit rougher, a little bit clangier. By the way, in FM8, if you ever make your envelope too long for the window, you can just double-click in the background. Okay, that's cool. Wow, bell sound, great. It's an awesome exercise to do. But you know what? This is the real sound that we're doing today, so we're not going to use a bell. Frankly speaking, I'm about to get real. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to leave F as a sine wave, and actually I'm going to solo it. You can hear I've just put in a really simple bass line. I'm going to go ahead and look at spectrum. Right now we're just using a sine wave. I'm going to turn up the feedback on F. I'm going to be basically feeding it back onto itself, make a sawtooth out of it. I'm going to do the same thing with E. I'm going to activate E by right-clicking. I'm going to patch them together like this. Alright, this is pretty good. We could add another one if we want. Modulate E. You could set a slower envelope on this one. So this might be a little much for right now, but what I'm going to do, let's deactivate D for now. What I'm going to do here, E and F sound pretty good together. And if we give E a nice arc on its envelope, we've got some nice stuff happening. But it's not exactly what we're going to do today. All I'm going to do is soften up the release a little bit so that we don't get clicking towards the end. You can kind of hear it there. But I just want to make sure that we don't get any artifacts. Now, I will turn the ratio on E up. We can get some upper harmonics there if we want. That's a nice thing to be able to do. E and F are still sine waves. This is alchemy here. This is the beauty. They're just sine waves that are being fed back in on themselves, and we've kind of made sawtooths out of them. We've brought out some harmonics. Now they're a little bit heavier. No filter. Look, Ma, no filter. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the mod section, and LFO1 it comes by default going through the mod wheel, meaning when I turn the mod wheel up, we'll be able to hear LFO1. Take a listen. You hear the vibrato? Okay, well, that's a great sound, but we're going to get rid of it for now. I just want LFO1 to be always on the modulator, which is E in this case. So, ascend modulator. So LFO1 to E. And what we're actually manipulating here is the amplitude of that oscillator, not the pitch. Okay, so I'm on a triangle wave. I'm going to hit sync. It's going to beat sync. When I turn rate, we're not going to see the actual subdivisions of the master BPM here, but believe me, it's doing it when you turn sync on. Triangle wave is fine for now. And I'm just going to play this, and I'm going to slowly fade LFO1 up. And from here, it's just a matter of massaging these values to make things balance out really nicely. So that's a bit of a mellower wobble. If we go back here, we can maybe switch it to a sine wave. The other thing we have is the key scale here, so we can use the notes that the keyboard is playing, or that the sequencer is playing in this case, to move the rate or the frequency of this LFO here. I think that's nice. I'm not even going to have to automate that as it stands. And now I'm just going to find some nice values. And we can grab oscillator D if we want. We can send F into oscillator D. So that sounds cool and everything. I'm going to deactivate D for now. Let's see what happens if we change F to a triangle. Plug E into C as well. There's one thing that we haven't done here that I've already mentioned. I'm just going to go ahead and deactivate everything but E and F. Let's start upping the ratio of E. Ooh, me like. Put F back to a sine wave. Or we could put it to a triangle. Fix the envelope for D. Brick it out again. So we've got a little bit of a wobble going here. If you don't want to use the wobble, that's totally fine. You can just go back and get rid of this LFO routing. And let's just add a little bit of interest to the sustain portions of the envelopes just so that we have some movement. Maybe I'll create a loop here. Raising the roof a little bit. Now to really rough this thing up, I'm going to go ahead and send it through X. X has a noise generator in it, which is pretty nice. But it also has a saturator, like we were talking about with the batterie. So we can just patch that in there. Turn up the saturator. Got the gain up pretty nice. Let's go ahead and throw that LFO back in there. Maybe just the simple sound will be a nice thing. And then if we want to, we could even add some pitch to it. So I'm going to jump over here, and I'm going to turn up envelope, and we'll just have this thing dive in a really simple way. The sustain level I want to be at 0. All right, this thing's moving right along. Or, here's the other thing I could do. I'm just going to jump in and actually use the mod wheel. And so now, when it goes through, I'm going to be controlling my wobbles with the mod wheel. So now I'm just going to go ahead and record that, just the mod wheel. All right, so that's pretty good. Now let's just add a little bit more. Let's have this the speed of the LFO move a little bit differently. So I'm going to turn on the MIDI learn button. I'm going to click on rate here, and I'm going to move it. That's going to do. So now I can go ahead and record some movement. Oh, but wait. Why, pray tell, would it have not recorded? Well, it's because I didn't configure the parameters. This is Ableton Live, so I have to make sure and do that. So, just to make sure that Ableton Live is watching, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to MIDI map this controller to LFO1 rate here. Now, here we go. All right, so now we've got our loop here. We can fatten this up if we want to with a couple of plugins. Perhaps I would add maybe a saturator in Ableton Live. That's always fun. How about hot tubes? And then here's the other thing that I really like to do. I'm going to grab a delay, the simple delay that is. I'm going to pull the feedback down to 0. I'm going to turn the wet all the way up. I'm going to turn sync off. I'm going to have one side with very little delay and the other side with just a little bit more delay. And we're going to make this a nice big fat stereo bass. And let's unsolo this. And let's add it to the reverb. Happy partying. There you go. That's it's creating some aggressive bass lines in FM8. There are many more where that came from. You'd be absolutely gobsmacked the capabilities of this synthesizer. And you could take this even further very easily. Going back to the operator section, we're only using 2 of the oscillators here. I disabled these ones and X. So you could just have these 2 going very easily, and you could have actually a second synthesizer going here, and you could pan one side out to the right and the other side out to the left using this. And you could have just like a huge sound with some subtle variation and a little bit of detuning. This is Evan Sutton with Dubspot New York. I'm the co-designer and developer of the Sound Design and Synthesis in Native Instruments Complete course, not only in the physical school, but also online. If you take the course online, it's my voice that you'll be hearing. You can catch me at suttonevan.com. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Happy hunting.
Welcome to Dubspot. We believe in providing you hands-on experience right away. Whether you're completely new to music and want to turn the sounds in your head into a musical reality, or you're an experienced artist looking to refine your skills and add new tools to your arsenal, we're ready to meet you at your level. For students of all ages, all levels, and all styles of music, Dubspot is here to help you achieve your goals. With course offerings both online wherever you are and at our school in the heart of New York City, we are ready to guide you through the next phase of your musical transformation. Whether you want to produce music, DJ, or do both, you've come to the right place. Come explore Dubspot for yourself. Become a part of our community and make music.